What's up, guys? Welcome back to Rip City Rundown. And today we're going to be talking about the Blazers' first round pick, the 7th overall pick from this past draft, Shaedon Sharpe. And I'm going to be talking about if I think he has a chance to make an impact his rookie season straight out of the gate with this team that is in a position that is kind of peculiar. On one hand, you want to compete. You want this team and Damian Lillard to have a chance to go out and win games and see how much you can do. But on the other hand, this preseason has looked atrocious for the Blazers. I'll get into that more in the podcast that will be premiering tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time. But this team right now has a lot of flaws. But one bright spot this preseason, it's been Jeremy Grant has looked good. Damian Lillard's just good to see him back on the floor. But Shaedon Sharpe has been a huge bright spot for this Blazer team. Most recently, in his final game against the Warriors, the defending champs, he put up 19 points and he played 38 minutes. And I think that's a very important thing that Chauncey Phillips is doing through these preseason games. He's slowly ramping up Shaedon Sharpe. First game, he played 5 minutes with the starters and then didn't get any more minutes the rest of the game with the starting group. And now in this most recent game, he played a ton with the starting minutes. Even in the game against the Kings the game before, he was one of the first guys off the bench. And I think that's very important to what Chauncey Phillips is doing. His game against Maccabi Ra'anana, I think is how you pronounce it. He had 27 points, 10 of 13 shooting, 2 steals, 2 blocks, and he looked very good in that game. But obviously not against an NBA team. Can't take too much stock into it because it was kind of a free-for-all for every Blazer player out there. And then he played against the Kings, 3 of 7 from the field, but 2 of 3 from 3, 8 points. And then in his most recent outing, like I said, 38 minutes and put up 17 points. Now, the question that I asked, obviously in the title of this video, and what I want to try to be answering today is, can Shaedon Sharpe make an impact in his rookie year? If you told me 2 months ago when we drafted him, my answer would have been no. You look at what the Blazers have on their team. You have the obvious starters, Dame and Ant at guard and Josh Hart at the wing. And then off the bench, you've got guys like Gary Payton II. You've got Nasir Little. You had at one point Brandon Williams, who got released. And then you even have a guy like Keon Johnson, who has obviously improved a lot and has matured a lot in the eyes of Chauncey Phillips. And that puts Shaedon Sharpe kind of bottom of the totem pole. I was thinking this was going to be a project, and he still is. He still is a project by all means, but he is improving a lot faster than I would have thought. And I think Chauncey Phillips is saying that the Blazers aren't as good as we want to be, and he's going to try to give Shaedon Sharpe as many minutes as he can, and I've seen that a lot this preseason. I don't think Shaedon Sharpe was going to play 38 minutes in the final preseason game when we first started. But, Dame didn't play this game, neither did Winslow. It was already a big blowout performance, and Chauncey Phillips knows that if this team is going to have any chance to compete, it's going to be because, A, Dame and Jeremy Grant, they all are going to be good. But we're going to need help from the bench, and we're going to need guys that can come in and score and be really talented players off the bench. Right now, we really don't have that. Nasir Little hasn't taken the step, according to the preseason games we've seen. He hasn't taken the step that we want him to make. Josh Hart, while he averaged 19 points last year, he hasn't really scored a lot this preseason. Keon Johnson was being raved about all summer, and he has matured, and he looks like he's more comfortable out there. He still hasn't improved enough as a basketball player and as a shooter and scorer for us to say, give him the keys to the second unit and he can go do it. We haven't seen Gary Payton II play yet, but obviously he holds his hat on the defensive side of the ball compared to the offensive side of the ball. So I think Chauncey Phillips is looking at Shaedon Sharpe and saying, I'm going to give you 15 minutes a night this preseason. You go out and you go show me what you can do. I'm going to give you a ton of time to get prepared, get acclimated. 38 minutes in the preseason, that is not normal for any player. I don't care how bad you are, how good you are. You're not going to get 38 minutes in a preseason game if you don't have, or if your coach doesn't have, a plan for you to play come the regular season. And I think Shaedon Sharpe even thinks that he's going to make an impact this preseason, or this regular season, in his rookie season. In his media day press conference, he was asked what his goals are for this season, and he said Rookie of the Year. And if you expect not to play at all, you're not going to say that. But, obviously he has some expectations to play a little bit. So how much of an impact can he make? That's the question you want me to answer. And I think that the rotation for the Blazers goes like this. You obviously have the starters, Dame, Ant, Hart, Grant, Nurkic. Off the bench, I think Gary Payton II obviously is a lock to come off the bench. Justice Winslow and Nasir Little. Those guys are going to run the 2, 3, and 4. The middle, the bulk of the bench minutes. And then you're going to have their backup center. That's going to be a rotating door. We don't even know who that's going to be. And then you're going to have that backup so-called one guard, point guard. Not necessarily has to be the point guard because I think Anthony Simons is going to be running a lot of point guard when Dame is not on the floor. But I think those two guys that could be getting minutes are Shaedon Sharpe and Keon Johnson. And I think this preseason, well, Keon Johnson, again, has matured a lot, and I'm going to get into this deeply in the podcast, so you're not going to want to miss that. We'll be recording it tonight and uploading it tomorrow. But Shaedon Sharpe has proven that he can score the ball, and that's what we need the most off the bench. We need offense. While our defense is atrocious, we need offense off the bench because the offense isn't there right now. Nasir Little, like I said, hasn't taken a step. So I think Shaedon Sharpe is going to get 15 minutes a night come the first game. I think he will play 15 minutes. And I think for the entire rookie year, he will slowly improve. I'm not going to say he's going to win Rookie of the Year. I'm not going to say he's going to make an all-rookie team. But I think he will get to the point where he is consistently coming off the bench and putting in 8 points a night. And that's all you need from a bench guy like that. And I think that he is going to have some games where he breaks out and puts up 20 points. But there's going to be some games where he might not play at all. So I think it's going to be an up and down rookie year for Shaedon Sharpe. But I think this preseason and how I've seen Chauncey Phillips use him, he realizes that we're going to need a punch off the bench because right now we don't have it. And again, it's the preseason. I can't take too much stock into it, but I have to take a little bit because this team has not looked good this preseason, and I really don't see this team suddenly flipping a switch and being suddenly a great defensive team, offensive team off the bench, blocking shots, getting buckets off the bench. This team just doesn't look like that right now. It's not a deep team. It's not a deep team, unfortunately. And I think that if we do want to get to the point where we are looked at as a semi-deep team, it's going to be because Shaedon Sharpe takes a leap and he gets some good minutes off the bench. So that's my initial thoughts on just the Shaedon Sharpe preseason campaign and how I think it will affect him come the season. Again, full thoughts in that podcast. We're going to give so many in-depth conversations and stuff like that. So be on the lookout for that tomorrow. Remember, our merchandise is open until October 18th. Might push it to the 19th for the game day. I got the hat right here. It's a cool hat. Shirt on right now. Bad Shot shirt behind me, front and back. And then we will be probably live streaming the Sacramento Kings Blazer game, first game of the season, next Wednesday, October 19th. So be on the lookout for that. Comment down below if you think Shaedon Sharpe is going to get significant minutes his rookie season. And comment down below how many points you think he'll average this season. I say 8. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.